Every day, somewhere in the world, normal people risk their lives just getting from A to B. In far-off countries and isolated, forgotten villages, our camera crews follow the journeys of those brave enough to travel on the world's toughest, most dangerous and deadly roads. Buckle up for a hell ride. This is Deadliest Journeys. A truck full of goods has just arrived from Panama City. It belongs to a woman they call the Queen of the River Tuira. The Queen's real name is Gina, a 55-year-old store owner. It's hard to believe, but Gina assures us that her pigs and 2.5 tons of merchandise will all cram into this little boat.
Todo esto que está aquí es mío. Todo esto que está aquí es para el mini super. El arroz, el azúcar, el gas, las sodas, el aceite.
¿Cuánta mercancía hay en dólares?
$2.500. ¿Está acá? Ven, papi.
She employs 12 men. Even so, the loading will take almost an entire day. Loading must be done quickly. Loading the cans of fuel is the most dangerous operation. There are 7 200-kilo cans. With no machines to help, they rely on brute force. Gina has spent over half her life on the river, building up her business. She has 4 children and is now a grandmother to young Chewy. He's only 4, but the Queen has made him the heir to her fortune. She takes him everywhere to teach him the job.
Y si te comes toda la comida te doy soda. ¿Oíste?
It's the end of the day at the harbour, and while the Queen is taking a breather, we witnessed a wild scene that only happens on the river twice a year. These cows have come to the end of the road, and they are about to get their first swimming lesson. To transport the cattle to their new home further upstream, they are tied to the boats by their necks and literally dragged up the river. And these latest passengers are not treated with tender care. These poor cows have to endure an exhausting 30-minute ride to reach their new pastures. The cowboys are hot this afternoon. They've started on the booze early to celebrate the weekend. Altogether, 100 animals have to be transported.
Nosotros ahora las dejamos ahí, las metemos en el corral, ¿sí? Las dejamos ahí y mañana las soltamos para que ellas caminen.
When they arrive, the heavily built cows are exhausted. To get them out, the cowboys sometimes have to take extreme measures, like biting their tails. It's 5:30 in the morning in the port of Yavisa. Before the boss gets up, everything must be loaded, the meat included.
Buenos días, amanecí bastante bien, gracias a Dios, en mis actividades cotidianas. Pipillo, ¿dónde me pongo? Oiga, venga para que venga a soltar la piragua. Ya, permiso.
Oye, ¿no te da miedo caerte?
No, mira que ya estoy tan acostumbrada que eso para mí es práctico. Nunca me he caído al agua. ¡Adiós, gordo! ¡Me saluda! ¡Ajeca!
Boca de Coupe, Gina's small village, is a 3-day journey from Panama City. A day by truck to Yavisa, and then the road ends and things start to get complicated. In winter it takes 7 hours to reach Boca de Coupe, which is close to the border with Colombia. In summer, when the water levels are much lower, the trip turns into a 12-hour-long nightmare. Gina's canoe is 35 years old. Its 12-metre-long hull is weighed down by the 2.5-ton load and powered along by a measly 40-horsepower engine at full throttle. The old canoe's so low in the water that the wake of any boat it crosses causes a flood on board.
Hay muchas piraguas que se han hundido, porque a veces no toman precauciones las piraguas que van a los lados.
To make sure they stay afloat, the Queen has instructed one of her workers to bail water out all day long, so she can kick it back and relax. The first stages of the trip along the Tuira are worthy of a tourist river cruise. It's a trip through primeval jungle and a chance to glimpse wild animals. Even in the depths of the jungle, the Queen still has her creature comforts.
Buenos días, hija. Aquí ya acabamos de salir de Yavisa.
But this is her last phone call for a while. She loses her signal as the boat cruises deeper into the mountains and into the more dangerous, shallow waters. At this junction of rivers, the skill of her boatman makes all the difference. He must weave between the tree trunks carried downstream as a result of violent storms.
Cuando el río está claro se ven los troncos, pero aún así la piragua se monta en los troncos.
Tienes mucha confianza en tu motorista, ¿no?
Oh, el 100%. Tiene prácticamente 16 años de estar conmigo haciendo ese trabajo.
Naturally, no one on board has a life jacket. The Queen is getting a bit peckish.
Ahora mismo voy a hacer una ensalada de lechuga.
She has thought of everything in case of the unexpected.
¿Qué le pasó?
6 galones hasta que lleguemos allá. Nos quedamos sin gasolina.
Para ahí un poco.
Para ahí, el tío y el ustedes que están, tenemos la esperanza.
Ellos no compraron la gasolina completa o el motor consume mucha gasolina y se quedaron sin gasolina. Así es que ahora me toca a mí darle la mano.
Digo, bendiciones de Dios, porque aunque ustedes no vienen subiendo, ¿cómo sería la vida de nosotros aquí? No habíamos llegado hoy a Boca de Coupe. Gracias.
Apparently, the Queen of the River is also now its guardian angel. The village of Pinagana marks the midpoint of the journey. Everyone has to stop here. It's a typical quiet town, apart from the military garrison. All along the river, the Panamanian border police search every boat. Colombia is a short distance away, a country that's been at war for 30 years and is the world's largest producer of cocaine. The Panamanian military are looking for drugs, guns and food that might be for the Colombian guerrillas. Even the Queen must show her papers. The search lasts an hour as her canoe is thoroughly inspected.
La policía dice que es como un controlar la mercancía que tú llevas hasta
¿La frontera?
Ajá, hasta donde tú tengas el comercio.
Ellos piensan
que lo que uno lleva es para la guerrilla.
On this stretch of the river, the police have imposed a curfew. At 6 p.m, all traffic is banned. In fact, the military are also trying to stop the flow of illegal immigrants heading north for the United States. These illegal immigrants from Africa have entrusted their lives into the hands of 3 smugglers. Now, in the jungle, comes the riskiest part of their passage to the United States. They need to cross one of the most tense and hostile areas in the world. At any time, they might be seized by the army and sent back to their own countries. For the illegal immigrants, it all started 48 hours earlier in Turbo, northern Colombia. It's the point of departure for well-organised human traffic. After several days of bargaining, the head of the smugglers confirms the illegal immigrants will leave in the evening at 11 p.m. and board one of these fishing canoes. At the appointed hour, we quietly leave the city with the smugglers on a fake midnight fishing mission. Our camera light makes the crew nervous, fearing it might alert the police.
tiene un foco. Mira, yo te presto un. Están acá. Jen, los abríamos.
Waiting in a marshy area are 16 illegal immigrants, 12 men and 4 women. They've been here for 2 weeks hiding in this house.
Aquí. La palanca para acá.
Once away from the city, the boatman steps on the gas. We must travel the greatest possible distance at night to foil the army patrols. It's a 3-hour crossing on a rough sea, then through the night along the Rio Sucio, the saltwater river. The helmsman navigates blindly. Suddenly, we hit a tree trunk and there's panic on board. Musi, one of the Eritreans, is getting stressed out. A second tree trunk nearly impaled the boat. We avoid being sunk. Tonight, the illegal immigrants have once again escaped death. They've brushed with death several times since starting their ordeal. First, they flew or sailed across the Atlantic for Ecuador, a country where they don't need a visa. From Ecuador, they head for Colombia, on foot, by boat or truck. Their final goal is the United States and the hope of a new life. The immigrants have left the city of Turbo in Colombia. To reach Panama without getting caught by the military, they have to cross the near impenetrable jungle, the Darien In the morning, fatigue adds to the tension. After the Rio Sucio, there's a swamp infested with crocodiles. The vegetation is so dense that it wraps around the propeller. The engine overheats and threatens to break down. Over 8,000 miles away from home and completely lost, these men and women have no choice but to keep on going. All they can trust is their own faith and the smugglers, who are now the unknown masters of their destiny. The sun has been beating down since dawn. The water levels continue to fall and progress is slow. At this stage in the mission, we have no idea where we are. But Roberto, the leader of the smugglers, is enjoying himself. He's about to hike the prices.
¿Quién habla más español? ¿Ustedes? ¿Tú? Aquí, guía aquí, mitad, la plata.
Please translate what you say. Trata de hablarme. Trata tú primero de hablarme.
O sea que aquí se le da la mitad de la plata al guía.
¿A cuál guía?
El que va para la frontera con ellos.
They want the half money for the second guide to go to the border. Half of the money. Half of the money. How much is saying? ¿Cuánto es?
800.
Son 1.600. 800 aquí, 800 allá.
800 aquí y 800 allá, en la frontera. $800.
Nobody tells us that. We have got a deal there in Bogota. Just they gave us $100 each.
There's a discussion, but it will be brief. Resigned, all talk of revolt is quashed. Everyone takes out their dollars. It's 800 for 16 people. They're reluctant but have no choice.
¿Y con qué marcamos? ¿Cuánto marcamos? 8 ahí aquí. Cuidado con algún clavo.
The boatman receives his share with no qualms and happily leaves with his wad of cash. The group starts off. It will be a long day. And the immigrants had no idea it was going to get this tough. America is still far away. In this forest, where even experienced adventurers have given up, they only have their light clothes, inappropriate shoes, and their entire belongings carried on their backs. But regardless of how ill-prepared they are, they must press on. They walk disorientated without knowing exactly where. Suddenly, a black tarpaulin indicates sign of life. It's a base camp. The group will have to wait here for several hours for a new smuggler to guide them.
¿A dónde está? Está aquí cerca de la frontera.
The exact location is unclear, but what is certain is that the camp regularly accommodates illegal immigrants. For now, neither the army nor the guerrillas have discovered its existence.
El ejército le pone problema a ellos porque ellos por aquí no los dejan pasar. Legal. Uno hace el esfuerzo para pasarlo, para que el ejército no los coja, para llevarlo directamente a la frontera.
One of the illegal immigrants agrees to tell his story, on condition we hide his identity.
Why did you choose to leave Africa? Yes, I'm from Eritrea. The government put me in a jail for almost 6 months. Then from that, I escaped from the jail and I will not come back to my country. How was the price of this trip? Much more money, about $15,000 or $16,000. To finish line? To finish the line, yeah. How old are you? I'm 26.
And what is your dream in?
Just to live peacefully in America. Just to live peacefully, to work, to collect money, and to help my family. That's my view.
The hours tick away and there's still no sign of the new smuggler. The other major concern is the quantity of food and drinking water, both of which are now dangerously low. Roberto, the chief smuggler, shows us that water can be found all around us.
Esta agua es buena para tomar, no problema. No problema. Frutiño, jugo. Tomar, normal. No problema.
In the afternoon, the second smuggler finally shows up at the camp.
Yo.
The smugglers won't let us film any further or to continue with them. They don't want our cameras to jeopardise their border crossing. It will be 4 months before we have any more news. These Somalis, Eritreans, Sudanese and Bangladeshis did finally achieve their dream. They made it to the United States. Meanwhile, the Queen's voyage is nearly over. As usual, the village children jump for joy when they see the Queen arrive.
Esta es mi pequeña mansión. Bienvenidos. Acá es el negocio. Este es mi esposo. Con esto he logrado un beso. He logrado lo poco que tenemos.
But success comes at a cost. While her husband minds the grocery store, Gina, the nomad, lives on the road. In 2 days, to replenish her stock, she will leave once again for another deadly journey to the heart of Panama City.